Right now at 10, are local ride-sharing apps dying? How they're fighting to stay in the same lane as Uber and Lyft.
After 18 seasons, Bob Stoops is stepping aside as head coach of Oklahoma. Why he's hanging up the headset.
Plus, what you need to know about a new invasive species of bugs making its way onto Central Texas plants.
And a local young woman wants to know if you can make it to her birthday party. The night starts now. But first tonight, a countdown on Capitol Hill. Former FBI Director James Comey is set to testify before Congress in less than 12 hours. The Night Beat's Michael Perchik has been digging through the statement Comey plans to make tomorrow. Michael?
Mike, a lot of key points from this statement. The first, Comey's assertion to Trump that he was not personally under investigation. But on the flip side, questions surrounding Trump's alleged conduct into an investigation of Michael Flynn and possible repercussions from those actions. 7 pages setting the stage
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth
for one of the most highly anticipated testimonies in recent U.S. history.
What does surprise me is the degree to which Trump was recklessly willing to cross the line between what would be information gathering and actively trying to manipulate a law enforcement investigation.
University of Texas history professor Jeremy Suri weighing in on James Comey's opening statement. His biggest takeaways: first, Comey notes 9 one-on-one conversations between himself and the president, compared to only 2 with President Obama. Second, Trump's request for loyalty from Comey. And third, Comey's sharing of his conversations with President Trump to fellow FBI officials. Another key issue, Trump's plea to Comey to, quote, let this go, in regards to an investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
So it's a big no-no not just for presidents of the United States, but for the leaders of corporations also.
But does that amount to obstruction of justice?
That's where I go back to this intent. What was the intent? To prove that it's a crime becomes very important, and proving intent is always really hard.
UT law professor H.W. Perry Jr. says, like the interpretation of obstruction of justice, the subject of impeachment can be murky.
What's impeachable and what can make someone be convicted is in the eyes of the beholder, which is in the hands of Congress.
7 pages setting the stage for Thursday. In Austin, I'm Michael Perchik, KVUE News Nightbeat.
We will be live streaming the testimony on Facebook Live and our website starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll have the latest breakdown of what happened on KVUE News at 5 p.m. Tonight, a state representative is apologizing after she was charged with DWI. Victoria Niave, who represents East Dallas, was arrested last night after her vehicle hit a tree. Police say Niave had bloodshot eyes and was unsteady, but refused to take a field sobriety test. She released a statement on Facebook today telling her supporters she takes full responsibility for her actions. The case involving Greg Kelly takes another turn tonight. His attorneys filing 2 new sworn affidavits today to help overturn his conviction. The first from a former friend of a man identified as a new suspect in the sexual assault of a 4-year-old boy. That friend says Jonathan McCarty confessed to the crime after Kelly was convicted. The second affidavit is from a woman who says her son confessed Kelly and McCarty looked alike. He could not keep them apart in a home daycare that McCarty's mother operated. An update tonight on a story that had a lot of people wanting to lock their luggage. 26-year-old Jaquan Johnson pleaded guilty today to firearm theft charges. He's the baggage handler accused of stealing 7 guns from checked bags at Austin Bergstrom International Airport. Johnson faces up to 20 years in federal prison. A Texas family is mourning the sudden death of their 4-year-old son. Frankie Delgado died almost a week after a family vacation to the Texas City Dike. Doctors say they believe he died from dry drowning. Frankie's mother says he was only in knee-deep water, but an autopsy showed fluid in Frankie's lungs and around his heart.
He was full of life.
Signs that a child is suffering from dry drowning might not show up for 24 hours after they've been around water. Doctors say symptoms include persistent coughing, trouble breathing, sleepiness or fatigue, and vomiting. South by Southwest organizers are saying, don't panic. The festival is not going anywhere. 2 Democratic senators from other states wrote a letter to the festival's CEO requesting a move to a different state because of Senate Bill 4, known as the Sanctuary City Law. The senators say it's not safe for immigrants and Americans to visit Texas. South by Southwest fired back, saying that Austin is its home and it will continue to stay here. Organizers of the festival say 2016 brought about $325 million to the Austin economy. Numbers for this year's festival have not yet been released. Well, it's been more than a week since Uber and Lyft returned to Austin. While some are happy that they're back on the road, other rideshare companies are worried it could drive them out of business. The Night Beat's Jason Puckett has the story.
Mike, it's a situation that has the current competition on edge. They're offering discounts, promotions, teaming up with local companies to try and keep the riders on their apps. But with Uber and Lyft back, will it be enough? One rideshare company has already given their answer. Fare sending this letter saying they're headed out. In part, it reads, quote, "Unfortunately, we are unable to endure the recent loss of business." Later adding a thanks for, quote, "keeping it really weird, too."
We were about 26,000 rides, and our operating floor right now would be about 20,000 trips per week.
That's Marissa Goldenberg, the COO for Ride Austin.
It really does depend on the Austin community's support now then to keep us alive and continue that virtuous cycle.
She says the nonprofit is staying for now, but the return of Uber and Lyft is not making it easy.
We were down 55% looking at Monday through Sunday of last week versus the previous week.
Earlier this week, they shared the work they'd done for the community here, more than $250,000 in charitable donations, and are asking your help to keep that up.
When you use Ride Austin, it's kind of the concept of like buying local organic. You're doing something good for the community. You're paying drivers a fair wage on a day-to-day basis.
Jason Puckett, KVUE News, Night Beat.